Hello, friends. We're back. I'm so excited for our next session. It's going to be so good. Joining me up on stage, we have Lottie, who is the Senior Director of Customer Success at Postscript, where she helps e commerce brands make SMS their number one revenue channel. With over 10 years in customer facing roles in tech, Lottie is passionate about using technology to help businesses grow. Her current team is rigorously devoted to optimizing SMS specific strategies for maximum business impact, which I think we are all interested in learning more about. So without further ado, Lottie, come join me up on stage.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mia, for the intro. I am really excited to be here today and chatting about SMS with all of you. It's 12:30. We love a prompt webinar. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen
Take
and
it away.
dive right in. Um, what I will say is that I have planned around 20 minutes of content. I'll take questions at the end, but I also love an active chat on webinars and team meetings with customers. So please throw things in there. If there's a quickie, I'll snag it live. If there's something that you want me to expand a little bit more on, please just throw it in there. I think it's more fun for all of us if this feels like we're engaging and not just me monologuing at all of you. But we are here to chat SMS and maximizing the revenue that you all are making from that channel this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I am going to start with a really high level, like, why should we even care about SMS? If you've logged in at all, you probably already have some degree of an answer to that question. So we'll keep it brief. And then I'm going to touch quickly on the concept of subscriber lifetime value as it relates to SMS. I work at Postscript, as Mia mentioned, and everything we do is really grounded in trying to maximize that. It's super important. So you'll see elements of that woven throughout the tips that I give today. And then we're just going to get into it. 7 tips for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and beyond. I love tactical advice that one can implement quickly. Personally, when I am busy, I'm like, just give me the quick hits, give me the easy wins. So most of this presentation is framed with that in mind. It's a busy time of year. We've got 2.5 weeks till Black Friday. So I want to make sure that you guys have some nuggets that you can take away from today. Go set up in your SMS channel this afternoon and feel more equipped to make more money this holiday season. And then, like I said, we'll end with some Q&A, but drop things in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye out. All right, this is Postscript's mission statement. We're going to talk SMS broadly today, but I think that even if you're not working with Postscript right now, this mission is something that is attainable for all of you. We are out here trying to make SMS the number one channel for e-commerce merchants. And if you look at this and you're like, that seems impossible, I promise you, many of our merchants have been doing this for years at this point. So today, we are going to be looking at some best practices that are going to help you all maximize the revenue that you can make through this channel, with the goal being that SMS should be your biggest channel. It is unique, it is different than email, and there is so much money to be made here. And so that is our focus. We're always grounding our recommendations and our best practices in this. Abby, yes, not annoying customers. Hugely important. We are going to talk about that. Keeping messaging relevant, not burning out a list. We want to build sustainable channels, and that's super, super important to everything that we do. And Edward out here is living the mission statement dream. I love to see that. Not even a plant. Thank you for that add-on. All right, so that's what we're trying to do. We want to maximize this channel. And when we think about maximizing this channel, focusing on subscriber lifetime value for SMS is really, really the way that we believe that you can do this. If you are making sure that you have subscribers who are going to provide you value over the length of the time that they're on your list, you're going to drive more revenue over time, and that's going to be hugely valuable to your business. Customer lifetime value is probably a familiar concept to many of you. Potentially looking at SLTV for SMS is familiar. So we're going to talk about, for SMS in particular, what do we do to try and maximize lifetime value? You guys can see suddenly that my do not disturb is on, which is good, but I don't know why it needed to tell us just now, but we're doing it live and this is what happens. So the things that we measure most closely when we're talking lifetime value, and you're going to see these themes throughout the tips today. First and foremost, acquisition rate, ensuring that you are growing a healthy list adding new subscribers, that's obviously going to increase the impact that you have. If you're marketing to 10,000 versus 50,000 to 100,000 or a million, obviously your ability to drive revenue is going to increase. So always ensuring that we're focused on growing that list so you can grow your ultimate impact with SMS. Revenue per message, making sure that you're sending compelling messaging to the right person. SMS is an expensive channel, relatively speaking. It's also super ROI positive, but you want to use the right content that's going to ensure that you have a strong revenue per message so that you can really feel confident in the cost that you're spending on this channel. Messages per subscriber. This is a hot topic, and it's already sort of come up in the chat with Abby saying, but I don't want to annoy people. You want to send the right amount of messages. We absolutely do not want to annoy people. A lot of people underdo it because they're nervous to annoy their customer, but that's also because a lot of people overdo it. And we all see those examples in this space. So, what I will say here, every list is different. We recommend to start with at least 5 messages per subscriber per month. These are your VIPs. They've given you a phone number already. That's more of like an intimate connection than email, and then use some of these metrics to really see what works best for your business. We have merchants who send daily with incredibly high revenue per message and incredibly low unsubs. We also have people where that cadence doesn't work for them. So the point of looking at messages per subscriber is to understand how much you're sending. And then we use these other metrics in conjunction to know, is it the right amount? Are we comfortable with the revenue per message? Are we comfortable with the unsubs? And that's how we're going to think about this. Um, and yes, we look at per month for messages per subscriber typically. And then lastly, retention rate. We are focused on obviously engaging those subscribers and continuing to have them be a part of your list. Most people who unsubscribe within the first 30 days. So when we're thinking about retention, it's really important to think about things like your welcome series and really make sure that you set expectations with what to expect from your list. That's really, really valuable. So these are really important metrics for SMS. They're going to be throughout the tips that we talk about today, but I also promised tactical advice to help you all. So that's sort of the foundational setting that we'll do, but now we're going to get into the meat of it and we're going to talk about how you all can be set up for success for your SMS program this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. All right, number one, we're starting potentially controversial, although I think with each passing year, this one has been a little bit less controversial. Keep your pop-up on. Plenty of people say, I want nothing on the site. I just want to maximize conversion, no distractions, buy, buy, buy. I understand the appeal, but the year is long. And Black Friday, Cyber Monday season allows for a huge surge in subscriber opt ins that you can then market to throughout the entire year. So, all of the data that I show today, we're looking at PostScript proprietary data. PostScript works with over 15,000 brands. These are statistics from 2023. Last year, we saw this huge spike in subscriber opt in over Black Friday, Cyber Monday week. You all work so hard to get so much traffic to the site and so much new traffic to the site during this time of year. It is a mistake to not take advantage of that and try and drive list growth. Some of the tips have 2 slides. Maybe that's cheating. Don't call me on it. Some of these need a little bit extra unpacking or just context to really drive the point home of how important it is. We saw list growth increase week over week during Black Friday last year, 16.6%. That is a huge peak. And within that week, we saw the most opt ins on Black Friday. So capturing that traffic and taking advantage of it is really, really critical. And I will also say that it is important because we're not trying to neglect the site experience, that you're refreshing your pop ups to reflect your Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer. It's easy to do this on PostScript. We have a code-free new pop-up provider. If you're nervous about setting this up, we have tons of resources on how to help. But in general, regardless of where you are, make sure that pop-up is reflecting the latest offer. We're going to talk about automations more in depth in a second, but then also making your welcome series has that same copy and content. So you're creating a smooth experience for people who are coming in as those new subscribers. Wow, Melissa, you read my mind of where I was going. Change the pop-up with the offer. But in general, with acquisition, definitely A/B test new things, new designs. I hear so frequently, like, I never wanted to do full screen because I personally don't like it. And then I tested it and my consumers loved it. Like, don't make assumptions about your purchasers test things. But absolutely for a holiday or for a major sale, the pop-up should match the offer because you don't want people confused on the site. You don't want them saying like, did these stack? What's the offer? Really, really clear because that's going to let you get acquisition, but also not hinder conversion on the site. All right, tip two. Tip two, in some ways, builds on tip one because some of the foundational setup that you all need to do to go into the season to maximize the value is just really, really key. Automations. Keep your automations on. They help you retarget subscribers. And while they fire at a higher cadence over Black Friday, Cyber Monday because of more volume, they see hugely outsized impact. So we saw, over 300% spiking in send for browse abandons, but we saw almost, 1,000 increase of results over Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. For those of you on Postscript, if you're potentially leveraging our Infinity testing, you can see a 20% lift on some of your automations. It's really, really important that you have automations running and that they're specific to the time period. So these are the 5 biggies that we would definitely, definitely recommend. So Abby, these are your takeaways. These are the 5 that you want. You guys are ready. You like know where I'm going. It's really great. These are the 5 you want. And just like I said with the pop-up, you want to make sure the content is clear. It reflects the offer. Take the time to do the 30-minute audit of your automations, get them running. What a lot of people will do is they have sort of their like evergreen automations for all of these, and then they have their sale automations. And when you reach that period where you're in a sale, you toggle off the evergreen ones, you toggle on the sale automations for these 5. You maintain the strategy, take the time to update the copy. The value of setting these up and ensuring that you're squared away is really, really important because these are the highest ROI messages that you have in your toolkit. All right, number 3, our last sort of like foundational tip, very obvious. Plan consistent Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns. Have a plan to market to your customers consistently throughout the month. I have put in some suggestions of how we think about sending starting next week. So you can take these, you can think about how this works for your business, but these would really be the suggestions that I would share with each of you in regards to what you want to be pushing this month. And I know this can look like a lot, but I will tell you, consumers are used to being marketed to this time of year, and they're also waiting to shop. I have a hit list of things that I want to buy. Some are brand specific, and I know, and I'm just going to shop the best sale. Some are more like, I need new lotion, and whoever has the most compelling deal is going to be my lotion purchase on Black Friday. So it looks like a lot, but it's the right time of year for it. So plan out that consistent strategy. Um, VIP. Who is a VIP? Many customers use any SMS subscriber as a VIP. Um, if you are training people who are engaging with your SMS list to expect unique offers through SMS, that is a hugely compelling reason to stay subscribed. And then you obviously get more money from that subscriber because you have faster access to them. And then we have plenty of customers who will sort of segment that VIP in more narrowing ways, number of purchases per year, total dollars spent on the site per year. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. But what I would say for almost all brands I work with, this is their biggest sale of the year. And there's a very good case to be made that anyone who's on your SMS list, because of the nature of that channel, is a VIP. All right. That's the foundation. You got to have your campaigns, you got to have your automations. Leave the pop-up up, please. Next ones are going to be a little more tactical. If you just do what I said and at any time or in any way take advantage of those suggestions, you will be making more money through SMS this holiday season. If you want to go a little bit deeper, we're going to enter into a slightly more tactical space that's really, really SMS specific. Number 4 is probably my favorite of all of the tips. Remind subscribers with follow-up messages. I know SMS is expensive. I am not telling you on every single campaign suggestion on the last slide, go and send it twice. But what I am telling you, if you send twice on your most important, say 1 to 3 campaigns, you will see outsized results there. Fun little fact about SMS, 80% of the attributed orders we saw last year happened within 20 minutes of receiving the message. People are being inundated this time of year. They do want to make a quick purchase, but those brands who came back and sent a same day follow up, you can segment out for people who haven't purchased, saw 40% more total revenue than those who didn't. So, following up again, you can see an example here on the right. Here is the sale. End of day, this is your last chance. By sending that second message, you will bump your revenue on average 40% on the day. And that is far greater than the top cost of that second step in that campaign. This is hugely, hugely important. It is my favorite tip in here. Do this for your biggest campaigns. Honestly, do this throughout the year. This is not a Black Friday, Cyber Monday specific tip, but it is really important in a time of year where we're working extra hard to cut through the noise. All right, number 5, hot topic in the SMS space. Should I send an SMS or should I send an MMS? In general, because it looks like we have people who are sort of newer to some of SMS, some people are more advanced. Test SMS versus MMS for your brand. Different brands, subscribers react differently. But thematically, we saw huge success last year for customers who used more MMS leading up to the Tuesday before Black Friday to start to tease those sales, maybe early access. They outperformed sort of from 56 to you see that 186%. But once you hit the week that has highest sending, so Tuesday, November 26th to Tuesday, December 3rd, that is the Tuesday before Black Friday to the Tuesday after Cyber Monday, we strongly recommend SMS only because this will allow for better throughput during the high volume sending period. This has absolutely nothing to do with your SMS provider. This has everything to do with the carriers and the huge spike in volume that they see. And so we would just say, do SMS. It is a higher chance of getting through with the carriers in a more timely way, and it is worth it. That said, our last little hedge on this tip, don't include super, super time sensitive language on Black Friday, Cyber Monday if you can avoid it. We cannot control the carriers, and things do not always go out right on time. And so having that little bit of buffer with vaguer language can be really helpful. All right. When are you sending? Again, we're going a little deeper, a little more tactical. Most people send their messages, these are Eastern time, between 9 and 2 p.m. Peak tends to be around 11 a.m. And this is great. You want to get out in front of people. They're browsing online, they're shopping all day. I'm just like scrolling all the deals, right? You want to get out in front of people, but a little bit counterintuitive. We actually saw the highest earning per message during the 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern timeframe. So, what I would really recommend if you have something you want to get that campaign message out early in the day, send it and then do that follow up and do that follow up later in the day that you maybe would have originally expected. That is going to drive the highest earnings per message if we look at the data that we see across our merchants. And I will say, if you're using a toll free number and there are issues and delays with the carriers, which are often posted by any SMS provider in the space, you do potentially run the risk of having that delay to the next day if there's a carrier backup. So just be aware of that. Again, like how we handle time sensitive message this time of year is really dependent on what we're seeing with the carriers and messages getting through. And last thing I'll add here, sending off the hour can also help you come through at a time where there's lower volume. Tons of people just send on the hour. They want to send at 6 or at 7 or at 11 a.m. So even to send sort of in the middle of the hour can be really helpful too. Less competition, more earnings, better click through rates. All right. This came up earlier. We obviously want to make money through the channel, keeping earnings per message in mind. There's a lot on this slide. I'll let you all kind of read and digest this a little bit, but the TLDR here is that SMS is expensive and you all want to be sending when it's going to make the most difference for your business. And something that we see that is a little bit surprising, although maybe in light of Black Friday as being more of like a season than a day now, some of the messages sent leading up to Black Friday were the most impactful on our platform. So if you're starting your sale early, those sort of 5-ish days leading up to Black Friday, they tend to have very high earnings per message. There's a little bit less competition, less noise. And oddly enough, we saw that the day before Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving had the highest EPMs last year. So when you're thinking about your sales and when you want to send, you can see on here, you're going to get solid EPMs compared to another time of year anytime in the next few weeks, but consider pulling some of them earlier to take advantage of those time frames where there's lower volume and you have the chance at higher earnings per message. All right. I promised 7. I promised to talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but I'm adding a bonus tip and some stats. Do not forget about December. There is so much work that goes into this month. I hope you all crush your annual goals in November and are, well, I guess Cyber Monday is in December this year, and are chilling and having a nice December. But if you don't, or if you're just trying to squeeze a little bit of extra juice, there is so much money to be made in December, and too many people forget to plan appropriately for it. There are tons of ideas to continue sending in December. We see fun like 5 days of gifts, 12 days of gifts, gift guides. Shipping deadlines is a huge one. Communicate about your shipping deadlines. I love campaigns around like, didn't get what you want for Christmas. What about, shopping for you? We all want to do that. New Year's Eve sales. There's so much content. Postscript site has a ton of ideas for what you can do to keep sending in December. But I will end with some stats on why you should not take your foot off the gas. Brands who sent fewer texts in December than in November saw revenue decline by 50%. And if you're out there thinking, Lottie, duh, December revenue is lower than November revenue, we would expect that. That's not an interesting stat at all. I would challenge you and say that across our, again, 15,000 merchants, we have tons who lean in, they keep marketing, they continue to build a robust calendar. And for those who did increase their sends in December, they were able to match or exceed November's revenue, which is huge. A lot of people wouldn't even think that's possible based on how much we drive in through Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But if you continue sending at that cadence, you are giving yourself a really strong opportunity to match or beat those numbers. That is huge. 15% increase in messages can match your revenue. Now, this came up a little bit earlier. Don't worry about list fatigue as much as you think you need to. You don't want to annoy your subscribers. You should look at unsubscribe rates on your campaigns. You should look at earnings per message and make sure that you feel good about your content. But December in general is the lowest unsubscribe rate of the entire year. And something that's really interesting is that we see orders per subscriber go up to 15 cents per subscriber. So the more you send, the higher conversion you're going to see. You are going to see better conversion if you're messaging people than if you're not messaging people. You obviously want to be mindful, but this is why I share the context that December tends to have low unsubscribes. And I will also say, if you're really worried about that list health, December is a good time. You're past that busiest sale to shift into more of a segment focus. So send those targeted messages in December. Segmented messages in general tend to lead to better results with 7% lift. That's one of the smallest impactful numbers we've seen on this. But be aware of it and know that your unsubscribes will be drastically impacted if you do segment. So we see unsubscribes drop over 20% for segmented versus full sends in December. So if you're worried about those unsubscribes, so you're trying to catch up or beat a revenue goal, think about keeping your foot on the gas, but being a little bit more tailored with your content when you have a bit more time and we aren't all just like running through the chaos of Black Friday. There's so many fun segments in December. It's on this slide with my absolute favorite new subscribers who have not yet purchased. They are ripe for the picking in December. Don't forget about that group. It is hugely impactful. Lots of other suggestions I should share, but I went 2 minutes over what I was aiming for. I want to leave people time for questions. Hopefully, those are some helpful tips that you can take away today. But I will stop there and take any questions from the group.
Fantastic presentation, Lottie. So tactical. I loved all of the different campaign examples that you gave. It was just overall so amazing. I think feel free, folks, to drop in any questions in the chat. But Lottie, you were so on top of things of like answering the questions during your presentation. You did amazing. I do see a couple questions asking about if they'll be receiving the deck, if there will be a recording. Yes, all sessions will be recorded. Everything will be accessible in a YouTube playlist that we will be sending out to everyone post webinar. So for anyone who missed any of Lottie's amazing tips and campaign ideas and tricks, you will be able to rewatch and go back and pause and take down any notes and screenshot any slides that you may have missed. So have no fear. With that said, Lottie, before I let you go, I'm going to go ahead and choose your giveaway winner for today. So everyone, on behalf of Postscript, they will be giving away an O'Shea gift card. I love O'Shea so much. So we're going to go ahead and choose this giveaway winner. And congratulations, Brooke Newman. You are taking home an O'Shea gift card courtesy of Lottie and the Postscript team. Amazing. Okay, cool. Well, with that said, Lottie, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on stage today. Cornelia, yes, I am jealous. Lottie, it has been amazing having you on stage today, and we will chat soon. Bye.
Awesome.
Okay, friends, we are going to go ahead and y'all already know the drill. We're going to head over to our next session, and I'll see you there.